And welcome back to round one of the YugiTuber Grand Championship. In this match, we have GalacticGod going up against RHNisker. And for this match's commentary, I have with me Doug Zeef. Doug, go ahead and introduce yourself.
Yeah, what's up, guys? My name is Doug Zeef, as he just said, and my channel is DZeef, and I wanted to watch this particular match because Ryan and GalacticGod are both good friends of mine, and I had heard about this match and was pretty hyped up about it. So, looks like Ryan's playing Frogs. I know he was having difficulty deciding a deck. He, unlike a lot of people, thought he's not going to be playing Chainburn. That would be Asianized, but... yeah.
So we see the swap frog come down. The effect of that's going to go ahead and send a frog to the graveyard. In this case, it's going to be Treeborn Frog. And he's going to go ahead and bounce that back to his hand and just pass turn over to GalacticGod.
Yeah, that's a pretty common frog opening. At least he opened the swap frog. I know frog players are pretty adamant at complaining about not opening swap frog. But even going first with 5 cards, he managed to get his opening. And GalacticGod is just passing back to him.
Interesting. Yeah, I know how much people want their super swap frogs from the next Astro Pack.
Yeah.
So we see this Treeborn Frog come back out during the standby phase from its effect, since Nisker has nothing in his back row. Missed the good old days of Perfect Circle with Treeborn Frog.
Yeah, and I do believe that Ryan is in fact playing Monarchs. So GalacticGod not having any cards on the field makes it kind of difficult for him. And yeah, we're just going to see him do another swap frog. So outside of maybe like a Vanity's Fiend or a Majesty's Fiend, Ryan really can't put any pressure on board right now because he has nothing to get rid of with any of his Monarch effects like Caius or Mobius.
Right, and in this case he actually decided to special summon the swap frog by discarding that Treeborn Frog that was in his hand.
Yeah, so now he has 3 Treeborn Frogs in grave. Well, I guess one's technically on the field, so if 2 of them somehow manage to get banished, I guess he would have backup ones. But more so, it's probably just because he doesn't want to draw them, so a Treeborn Frog in grave is a lot better than a top deck Treeborn Frog when he's trying to draw Monarch cards.
Yeah, just thinning out his deck. Oh, we see a Majesty's Fiend come down. That's going to be big.
Yeah, just like I said, it's a matter of if he didn't have any Monarchs, hopefully he had one of the Fiend cards that could at least do something. But I do happen to know what deck GalacticGod is playing, and Majesty's Fiend might turn out to not be the best choice if it gets hit by a Monarch Stormforth, which in fact
there it is.
It does. So GalacticGod is definitely playing Batteryman in this particular instance, so we're going to see kind of a Stormforth battle going off here. But this is going to be crucial for GalacticGod, because now he has the ability, assuming he has nothing good in hand, he can do 6,200 damage by using Charger to special summon Batteryman 9-Volt to add a Batteryman Fuel Cell to his hand, and then special summon that from his hand. Sorry, not 62, 68. I don't have my Batteryman numbers down anymore, but I used to. So if GalacticGod has the correct setup, there's a good chance that he might actually just have game right here.
That's assuming he only has 1 fuel cell as well. If he has 2, then that's just he's done right there.
Yeah, 1 charger and 1 fuel cell in hand, as long as the charger resolves, is well over a game. So yeah, it could be rough for Ryan.
So for our players who aren't too familiar with Batterymen, when Charger's Tribute summon, you're allowed to special summon a Batteryman from your deck. So in this case, he chooses 9-Volt. 9-Volt's effect is that when it's summoned, its attack gets doubled, and he also gets to add another Batteryman card from his deck to his hand.
Mm-hmm. So I'm not sure why GalacticGod didn't special summon the Fuel Cell, even if he didn't have game. A lot of damage is nothing to like scoff at, but not only that, his 9-Volt is going to die in the end phase because 9-Volt just happens to die in the end phase all the time. So special summoning the Fuel Cell now makes sure that he can actually get it off, because Fuel Cell can only be special summoned when the person controls 2 Batteryman monsters. So next turn, or during this end phase, he's going to go down to 1 Batteryman monster, so he could potentially be stuck with a dead Fuel Cell in his hand.
So there comes back Treeborn Frog. Are we going to see another Stormforth? I think that's really interesting that you said that, though. This is basically just going to be the battle of the Stormforths.
Yeah.
So we see a Caius come down, targeting...
And a Breakthrough skill.
Ooh, Breakthrough skill.
Caius can still run that over by battle, because it's only at 2,100 against 300 attack for every Thunder monster on board.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, you can see here where special summoning the Fuel Cell would have been way better, because in this situation, Ryan would have been down to 1,100 life points, 300 more for the Charger increase, 2,200 more for the Fuel Cell attack directly, and he would also have a monster on board during his next turn, where now the Caius can just attack over.
And we can see in the chat, GalacticGod is baiting Ryan into attacking him, possibly baiting out an Honest, or bluffing an Honest. Yeah. And the attack goes through, so GalacticGod's going to take 300 damage there.
Yeah. But I don't know, if GalacticGod doesn't have another Stormforth and Charger, I'm still really questioning that Fuel Cell play. We're seeing a Swap Frog. Didn't the Caius just get summoned?
I guess so. It looks like he normal summoned it by accident.
Huh. Yeah, that's definitely a second normal summon. I know Swap Frog has the ability to give a second frog normal summon, but there definitely wasn't one on board because GalacticGod just attacked directly last turn. So we're seeing a mistaken double normal summon.
Yeah, I mean, unless Ryan meant to special summon it and just forgot the discard, I mean, that could be it, but...
Nope. Because now we're seeing...
because now we're seeing the special summon.
Yeah, so I don't think that's going to affect the outcome too much because it looks like Ryan's hand is pretty weak. He's down to 2 cards, and GalacticGod has 4, which one we know is a Fuel Cell.
Mm-hmm.
But
looks like he's going for the Ronin Totem here, and he's probably going to make a rank 2 with that Ronin Totem and that Swap Frog. What would be the ideal thing to go for here, do you think? You think possibly Gachi?
Yeah, I would say Gachi or possibly Herald of Pure Light. I guess he doesn't really have any good in graveyard. Forget that part. So Gachi would be a good choice, and I think that Centuria card is also pretty good. Kind of loses to Monarch Stormforth, but it's good against a lot of other things. But I
actually really like that card.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like it's really underrated from that set.
Yeah, so he goes into a Gachi, which is going to have 2200 defense. Can't be destroyed twice, but it can lose pretty hard to a Stormforth, which we do not see. Yeah, so we're going to see GalacticGod pass back, which is just further promoting the idea that going for Fuel Cell was worse. He could have added a 9-volt with the original 9-volt, so that he would have a play on this turn.
Ooh, we see a Battle Fader get dropped down on GalacticGod's side.
Yeah,
interesting.
Good. That'll definitely set up a tribute for Charger if he has it next turn.
And not to mention that Caius is actually 2800 from the Gachi as well.
Oh yeah, that's a good point.
So making it a lot harder to run over.
Yeah,
but that Battle Fader is really switching things around.
Yeah, the only way he can run over that by battle... Okay, so Ryan must not want to leave any tribute fodder on board. He knows GalacticGod doesn't have the Stormforth because he would have used it last turn, so...
Ooh, we see an end phase Call of the Haunted, though. Most likely going to grab that 9-volt. Yep, there it is. And allowing him to go ahead and grab another Batteryman card out of his deck, which we can assume might be a Charger, but maybe he has other plans.
Yeah, Charger would definitely be the right play here. GalacticGod is in an excellent position because he can grab Charger, and then on his next turn, he can tribute for the Charger, special summon another 9-volt, add a second Fuel Cell, and then special summon both Fuel Cells to either make a rank 6, or just simply bounce back both monsters Ryan controls, and then attack for game with 2 of his monsters. So I'm sure we'll see one of those combos happen right here.
And since Ryan doesn't have any back row either, GalacticGod really doesn't have to fear anything other than maybe an Effect Veiler if Ryan even manages to run any.
Yeah.
Which I would say is highly unlikely in this situation.
Yeah, I would assume both the cards in Ryan's hand right now are either 2 Monarchs. I don't think they're Battle Stoppers because I'm pretty sure those 2 were in his hand when GalacticGod made the original push, so if they were Battle Stoppers, he probably would have used them. But, I don't know, time will tell.
So we see the Charger come down, which is going to get GalacticGod another search.
Yeah, he's in a really good position right here. I really don't think... I mean, there's like so many different ways that he can take the game over, either by doing the play I mentioned, which would be using one Fuel Cell, tributing the 9-volt to bounce back the Gachi, and then using the other Fuel Cell to tribute the first Fuel Cell to bounce back the Caius, and then attack for game that way. He could also just make a rank 6 if he chooses to. He could use Gaia Charger. He could do a lot of things right here.
Right, because now we know for a fact that he has at least 2 Fuel Cells in his hand.
Yep.
And he can probably have the game right now if he plays the cards right. Because Charger's effect, you can just bounce everything back.
Yeah, so...
Is Charger only once per turn, or is it once per turn?
Each copy is once per turn, so...
Okay.
He can get 2 bounces back and then just simply attack for game. And Charger combo is really nice with 9-volt in this particular, sequence of plays, because the 9-volt's going to die during the end phase anyway, so you might as well use it for bouncing fodder.
Yeah. So we see both of the Fuel Cells come down. GalacticGod opting to activate the effect. Now, he necessarily doesn't even have to bounce both back. He could just bounce the Gotchi, and now the Kais is back down to 24, and the Charger's at 27.
Yeah, and maybe that might even be the optimal play here, because that means that if so if he doesn't have game, if he gets stopped by a Battle Fader, then Ryan doesn't have the Caius to use a second time.
Right, and GalacticGod can also go into a rank 6 during his main phase too, maybe something like Photon Strike Bouncer.
Yeah. So the Charger's at 2,700, so it'll attack over for 300. And that is going to spell defeat for Ryan if he doesn't have any kind of battle stopper.
Which, in this kind of deck, is very likely, though. Oh, the first one
he
connects.
definitely would have used it, yeah.
Yeah.
It's
Tragodia. Okay. So that will save Ryan for a turn. That is the downside of Tragodia, is that you have to take the damage before you can summon it.
Mm-hmm.
So if that was a case where one attack would have done him in, then it would not have done him any good.
So what I would do here is either overlay for M7 and add back the Charger to my hand from my grave, or the 9-volt to give me some kind of push on the following turn. Photon Strike Bonzer would also be an excellent choice, though. Yep,
and there it is.
So I don't even think there's really anything Ryan could do with one card in hand. He has a couple Rodentoten banishes in grave. He has one Treeborn Frog in grave, but with only one card in hand, I don't think he can put enough damage on board or enough pressure on board to even make any kind of real plays.
Right. And even so, GalacticGod still has 3 other cards in his hand.
Yeah.
So I imagine that he still has other plays he could do if Ryan even manages to... Oh, we see a Snatch Steal. That's interesting.
And the MST.
Oh, there's the answer. Wow.
Yeah, that would have been way better if that was an enemy controller, but not going to see that. Because the common play for Frog players to make is using enemy controller during the standby phase to tribute the Treeborn Frog, so that the Treeborn Frog still comes back as tribute fodder, and that's like really powerful. So all it really takes right now is for GalacticGod to have any monster, and it's going to be over.
Hopefully he has at least one. He has 4 cards in hand.
Mm-hmm. I mean, he's used 2 9-volts and 1 Charger, but he still has a pretty good chance. I mean, really anything at this point would be game. He could have an Industrial Strength. He could have a Charger to do another combo. He could have a 9-volt. Cool stuff.
Yeah, he could...
Yeah, it looks like he has the Industrial Strength.
Yep.
And he could use the effect. It's not really necessary, but I'm assuming he'll just attack... Yeah, okay.
Yep, and there we go. That's game 1.
Yeah, so the Industrial Strength was off the field real quick, but basically... it's a BLS, so you banish 2 Battery Man, or you banish 2 Thunders to summon it, and then you can banish a third Thunder from your grave to destroy 1 monster and 1 spell or trap card on the field. So seeing GalacticGod had a face-up Call the Haunted because the fuel cell, or the 9-volt was tributed for a tribute summon, GalacticGod could have used the Industrial Strength to blow up the Call the Haunted and one of Ryan's monsters.
And both players going into the side right now. What do you think would be ideal for both players to side in this instance?
I think if Ryan has any more Battle Faders or Swift Scarecrows, or Gorz is really good against Battery Man because they can't really get rid of it. Gorz is too big for Photon Strike Bouncer to attack over, and bouncing with the M7 doesn't really accomplish anything, so Gorz would definitely be a good include. And I'm sure GalacticGod is also siding out a lot of his spell and trap removal because Ryan isn't really playing real spells and traps besides maybe like Snatch Steal.
And here we are in game 2. GalacticGod starting us off with a Battery Man 9-volt, which is going to fetch him another card straight from the deck.
Yep, so if he doesn't have a Stormforth, I'd assume you go for Microcell. If he does have a Stormforth, Charger would
go for Charger.
Obvious decision, yeah.
Yeah. And this is good, too, because that 9-volt's going to die in the end phase, and it's going to set GalacticGod up for any Call of the Haunted plays that he might also have.
Yeah, so he's out on the Charger, so he probably has a Stormforth. And I think this matchup is interesting in terms of seeing they're both using Stormforth so effectively, because Ryan can't really pass with open fields, because then GalacticGod will just OTK them. But GalacticGod can simply build up all his combo pieces without leaving a monster on board for Ryan to tribute with his own Stormforth. But Ryan can't get rid of his Monarchs after he uses them, so
we see a Swap Frog come down.
Yep.
Ryan probably going to opt to use the effect to ditch a Treeborn Frog, I imagine.
Did we see who won the Rock, Paper, Scissors before this game?
I believe For game one?
Yeah.
I believe Ryan went first game one.
Yeah, but I'm wondering, so he chose to go second in this particular game after losing, so I'm assuming GalacticGod must have won the rock, paper, scissors because Ryan went first game one.
Oh, right, okay.
Yeah, and GalacticGod would want to, both of these players would want to go second because despite not getting their board set up, they want to have something to storm forth immediately.
And so on the end phase, Swap Frog's going to head back to Ryan's hand, and GalacticGod's going to use Call the Haunted to bring out that 9-volt and get another search.
Yeah, so I mean, I've talked a little. Yeah, I've talked a little post game with both of these duelists, and I'm not sure if this is the turn it's going to end, but we can see here that if Ryan doesn't have any battle stoppers in hand, this is going to end on next turn by tributing 9-volt to get another 9-volt to get another fuel cell to special summon both fuel cells and do well over 8,000 damage.
You meant Charger when you started that link.
Yeah. I'm assuming he's going to do this play though.
Yeah.
Because that would be, I think it's even over 9,000, or we might see a Max C come down.
Maybe. Yeah, Max C. Interesting. So that's really going to slow down GalacticGod's OTK push here.
Yeah.
Because it's going to be it would be at least 3 special summons if you wanted to go for a game.
Yeah, 3 would be game, and then potentially a 4th if you did go for the 3 and then Ryan did something to stop it, GalacticGod might go for a 4th and Photon Strike Bouncer. Right,
but with the amount of battle stoppers that Ryan plays, that more than likely it is not worth taking the Maxi challenge.
Yeah, and we saw in the Asian Eyes versus We Are Yu-Gi-Oh match where taking the Maxi challenge isn't always good. Yep, he's not going to take that.
I think that's the correct play. Just stopping right there and just swinging for the damage. That's all you need to do.
Definitely. And he added a charger arrow off of the 9-volt, so he's getting set up for his...
Doing the same play next turn.
Yep.
Yeah. If you take any advice from the commentators, never take the Max C challenge unless you can 100% guarantee you're going to win.
Mm-hmm. And, this would be one of the few matchups where you kind of can weigh your options because Ryan really doesn't have any aggressive plays in general outside of the rank 2s and not really rank 1s, but in general outside of the rank 2s he's only going to be able to have his Monarch normal summon once per turn, so drawing a bunch of the cards, it's not like giving him a bunch of combo pieces because he can't really do anything with them.
Right.
Didn't.
So Ryan's going to take probably 41 here if he takes everything.
Looks like he only took 1,000 from the no, okay,
no,
I see the correction. Yeah.
Oh, I'm sorry, he'll take 44, not 41. I forgot the extra 300 from Charger.
Yeah, it can build up really fast.
Yeah, especially with how many monsters that the deck can put on board. That Charger can get up to 3,000 in no time.
Yeah.
So in the end phase, the 9-volt gets sent to the graveyard from its
effect. The Call the Haunted should stay, because that was the Call the Haunted on the last 9-volt that he used to tribute for the Charger. I don't think he's playing Magic Planner, so I don't think it matters. But
I really don't think it matters, unless there's something else. But
because Ryan's not going to go for Exciton Knight anytime soon, so
right. So we'd see another Caius get dropped down.
And the warning that is going to hurt.
GalacticGod's going to pay that 2,000 and negate that summon, and that Charger's going to stay right there.
Mm-hmm. And we know Ryan has a Swap Frog in hand, so he could set up a rank 2. Just to not lose. It's kind of a gamble, though, because we know GalacticGod already has a Charger in hand, so, if he leaves the Charger on field, he can do the same combo a second time, but if he puts a Gachi on board, and then it can be tributed by Stormforth and really ensure that GalacticGod has an easy push.
Yeah, but either way, Ryan knows that he's in a bad position right now, because he really cannot stop GalacticGod's plays at this point.
Yep.
With his main deck and his extra deck, his deck doesn't really play any answers to stop something like that.
Mm-hmm.
Other than battle monsters, that's about it. So he's special summoning the Swap Frog, and he's going to send a Rodent Totem and
just pass.
Take it back and pass.
So he has to have a battle stopper in hand, otherwise he's totally screwed.
So he's tributing the Charger for yet another Charger, and GalacticGod just going to go ahead and do the same thing he's been doing this whole match.
Yeah, and he already has one fuel cell in hand, because he was going to do the kind of the Wombo combo last turn. This time he's not hit with the Max C, so I don't see any reason for him not to just go all in. and try to get in as much damage as possible. And I'm assuming if he does go all in, that he'll attack with the Charger first, so that if Ryan drops Tragodia, he'll already have inflicted 3,000 damage?
3,000 if he puts on both fuel cells.
Yep.
GalacticGod going for another Charger just in case his play gets stopped again, which is, probably the best move in this situation, and that also tells us that he has 2 fuel cells. Oh, he's actually just going to attack. Oh, that makes sense, though, because that would be enough damage on... Yeah, so he didn't really need to overcommit.
So I wonder if he'll make a rank 6 in main phase 2.
Possible. Ryan being saved by that Battle Fader once again.
Yeah, I would say making a Photon Strike Bonzer would definitely be the right play here. Mm-hmm.
There's one fuel cell.
And now if the Battle Fader should get banished if he fuel cells it, right? That's how that works?
Yes, because if it leaves the field, it gets banished.
Yeah, so the only situation where it wouldn't if it was shuffled back into the deck, which is like the most random ruling ever. But anyway, he could totally tribute the 9-volt with fuel cell just to get it off the board. There's no reason not to.
That's really a ruling?
Yeah, it came up with Tengu and compulsory escape device. Yeah, it doesn't work that way for extra deck monsters, though. So if you compulse Ab-Zero, it will still get its effect. But if you escape device a Tengu, it will not.
That's interesting.
Yeah, I don't know why it's not considered, but...
Going into another Photon Strike Bouncer.
Yeah.
So that's the ideal play here, since that's pretty much... He just needs to stop effects. There's really no other reason to make anything else.
Mm-hmm. And outside of Regeki or Snatch Steel, this is not looking good, because if Ryan can put a Monarch on board, and then he'll get Strike Bonzered immediately, he can attack over the Charger, but then he's just going to get hit with the 3rd Charger next turn, because the Strike Bonzer will still be on field.
Mm-hmm. Ryan bringing back that Treeborn Frog. Ooh, enemy controller in the standby phase, maybe?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yep, standby phase. That's good.
He must have a Stormforth then, if he's grabbing that. Otherwise, I feel like... Oh, he has a Snatch Steel.
Snatch Steel. That's big. So now he gets the Charger and the Strike Bouncer.
So GalacticGod might actually... Because he has 5,000 life points, so like...
That's 48 right there, though.
Oh, but Ryan didn't have one more monster. But, yeah. So...
It's going to bring down to 200.
But Ryan had the Swap Frog in hand. Yeah, like...
It is right now.
This reminds me of the ARG feature match a while back where a guy, I think it was against Patrick Hoban, where he, cleared his board and did a whole bunch of damage and left him at, 100, and then he had a Hedgehog in hand, so, he could have just won.
I wonder why. That's surprising.
If I remember correctly, Ryan was talking to me about how he threw away a couple of these turns, but he definitely could have won right here in a variety of ways.
Even if he would have made this, I'm assuming he might go into a gotcha here.
Yeah, I mean...
it really doesn't matter. He could have summoned... Hell, he could have just summoned the Rodent Totem and put the Treeborn in attack mode and attacked with those two for the last 200. So yeah, like you were saying, there's a myriad of ways that Ryan could have had game here. So that's really unfortunate.
What type is Photon Strike Bonzer?
Fiend?
I think it's Warrior, because it's part of the Bounzer archetype.
See the Stormforth come down.
Yeah, this is going to be... Oh, the Charger should return to GalacticGod's side of the field.
I think Ryan realizes that halfway through, and he gives it back to him.
Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, having that 3rd Charger in hand is really key right now, because he can just go through the whole play once again. Yeah,
and as a... Yeah, Ryan's is messed up. But as a Batteryman player, having 2 Chargers on board is incredible, because then after you do your 9-volt double fuel cell, you can then make a rank 5 and a rank 6.
Yeah, so you can make something like Polites and Strike Bouncer or something crazy like that.
Yeah, or even Volcasaurus.
Oh, that too, yeah.
Ryan doesn't really have anything to destroy at this moment, but... Although GalacticGod has used 2 fuel cells, so...
But he can probably just grab the 3rd and he can just bounce back that Gotchi and then pretty much just have game from there.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see what he does. He's just going straight for the fuel cell.
I don't know if... I can't remember if he went through all 3 9-volts. He might have.
He might have, yeah.
Because he used one first turn, then he called a Haunted one, and then he specialed one.
I think he went through the combo twice before this, and then he started with the original 9-volt. Yeah. So I think that is all 3. So he tributes off the Charger to go ahead and bounce the Gachi back to the extra deck.
Yep. And I guess I'm not realizing that he used Stormforth this turn, so he couldn't make a rank 5.
Oh, yeah.
So I was like, well, Pleiades kind of does that better, but yeah, no, it's...
Now, luckily for GalacticGod, for Ryan, that Treeborn Frog's going to save his life.
Yeah, unless we see an Industrial Strength dropped. Although, a lot of times that's sided out, especially against someone that doesn't play any back row. But... yeah,
there's really no need at that point. Now, does Industrial Strength need to have both valid targets to activate?
Yeah, so that's where the Call of the Haunteds come in handy. Oh, a Regeki.
So he's going to Regeki the Treeborn Frog.
Yep, so
I think Ryan just conceding and showing his hand. Yeah, that's going to be it right there. But that was a really good match, I'd say.
Yeah, I mean, Ryan kind of threw away the game there. We saw an extra normal summon. But overall, it was a pretty good match of 2 tribute-based decks.
Yeah. Thank you all so much for watching, and we'll see you in the next match.